Sam. Well, there's a new billboard in downtown, but it's pretty vague. We put Dan DeRose on it to get some answers, and it turns out it's a company walking the line of fantasy sports and sports gambling.
Yeah, I definitely want to see what this billboard looks like because it's causing controversy.
Yeah, real vague. And then when you hear the name of the company, you're going to be like, what? Here's the billboard. It's right outside of Brown Stadium across the shoreway. It says Johnny Football threw 4 interceptions in his CFL debut. That's the Canadian Football League. Imagine what could have been. So they're poking fun at the whole Johnny Manziel. The company is called Monkey Knife Fight.
Never heard of them.
Never heard of it. Nobody had heard of it. A fairly new website. It kicked off at the beginning of the NFL season, and I'm going to show you what it is. There's no monkeys fighting with knives.
Okay,
that's just
that's a little bizarre. It gets your attention, though. That's
just a clever name, you know, whatever. It is more than just fantasy. So you know how fantasy works. I pick a bunch of players from a bunch of different teams. You pick some players, and we go head to head. That's fantasy. That's picking guys you're choosing. This is quite a bit different, and it's starting to walk up to that line. So let's select the Browns game. So instead of just selecting players, I'm now picking what are known as prop bets, propositional bets.
Yeah.
Do I think Derek Carr is going to throw over or under 261.5 yards? You make your bet. Do I think Baker Mayfield? And you go on and on and on with this game. There's 2 or 3 or 4, 5 different prop bets. Do I think the Browns are going to turn it over more or less than 2 times? So those are bets that you would normally make in Vegas or with a bookie or on an illegal betting site. But they claim that because you're making these picks and competing against somebody else, that this falls under fantasy.
Okay.
And so that they say it's walking right up to the line. No longer are you just picking players, you're picking these propositional contests is what they're calling them. See how they're not calling them bets?
Yes.
They call them contests. So it's very interesting. I spoke with the Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine's office. They say this is starting to get us to push the state into why we need laws on gambling, on sports gambling. Now that the prohibition has been lifted nationally by the Supreme Court, the state really needs to get in there. There's 2 bills down in Columbus that they're trying to get through and may not get done by the end of the year. So we're starting to see websites like these that are graying up the waters.
Gray area or not, I'm betting on the Browns.
There you go.
Just saying.
It's a good bet.
Just saying.